All right, let's talk about one of the most critical decisions any engineer makes, choosing a database. For 2025, the landscape has gotten, well, pretty crowded. If you've ever felt a little lost trying to navigate the sea of SQL, NoSQL, and all the other options out there, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to clear all that up. So, you might be asking yourself, why is this so complicated now? You've got SQL, NoSQL, graph databases, vector databases. The list just keeps growing. It can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle with way too many pieces. But you know what? This explosion of choice isn't chaos. It's actually a really good thing. It's a direct response to just how diverse and powerful our data has become. And that really gets to the heart of it. A decade or so ago, the default was to just grab one big, powerful database and use it for absolutely everything. But today, that one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work. It creates serious performance issues. It's kind of like trying to use a hammer to turn a screw. You might get it done, but it's not going to be pretty. Modern applications are dealing with so many different kinds of data that one tool just can't keep up. Which brings us to the single most important idea for navigating this whole landscape. And it's actually pretty simple. It's all about using the right tool for the job. This isn't just a nice idea. It's the professional standard for building any modern, high-performance application today. Now, the industry has a fancy name for this: Polyglot Persistence. Polyglot just means speaking multiple languages. In our world, it means building an application that can speak to several different specialized databases, picking the absolute perfect one for each specific task. This is the core principle that's going to make everything else fall into place.
Let's make this really concrete with a simple analogy. Think about your application's data layer as a professional kitchen. You wouldn't use a single giant pot to cook every single dish, would you? Of course not. You've got a whole set of specialized gadgets, each one designed to do one thing really, really well.
And this kitchen analogy maps perfectly to the world of databases. Your trusty oven, perfect for structured, reliable baking, that's your relational database, like PostgreSQL. The blender, which can handle any mix of flexible ingredients you throw at it, that's your document database, like MongoDB. And the microwave, for that incredible burst of speed when you need it, well, that's your in-memory cache Redis. The main takeaway here is that you need all of these tools working together to create something amazing.
Okay, so with that kitchen analogy in mind, let's take a quick tour of the essential tools in our database toolkit. We'll go through the core categories that every engineer really needs to have a handle on for 2025. First up, we've got the foundation, relational databases. Think of these as a strict accountant's ledger book. Every single entry has to fit perfectly into a predefined structured column. Now, that rigidity isn't a bad thing. It's actually a powerful feature. It guarantees data integrity, what we call ACID compliance, which is absolutely critical for things like financial transactions or managing user accounts. This is why tools like Postgres are still so essential.
Next, we have our blender, the document database. With tools like MongoDB, you're not working with a rigid ledger anymore. It's more like a loose leaf binder. Each page or document can have a totally different structure. This flexibility is perfect for things like e-commerce catalogs, where, a shirt has a size field, but a phone has a battery life field. Your data structure can just evolve as you go. Then you have the speed demons, key value stores like Redis. The best way to think about this is like our microwave, or even just a simple sticky note. The concept is brutally efficient. You have a key, like user 101, that points directly to a value. The lookup is almost instantaneous, which makes this technology absolutely essential for high-speed caching and managing real-time things like user sessions. To round out our tour, there are two more specialists worth knowing. First, graph databases. These are like a social network map, purpose-built to understand relationships and connections between data points. This makes them amazing for jobs like fraud detection. Then you've got time series databases, which act like a continuous logbook, perfectly optimized for tracking streams of time-stamped data from things like IoT sensors. So, what does this all look like out in the real world? Well, this popularity chart tells a really interesting story. While a giant like Oracle is still the overall leader, just look at the trend line for Postgres. It's the clear favorite among developers, and it's closing that gap fast. And over in the world of flexible data, MongoDB is still the undisputed king of NoSQL solutions. And now for the main event. While all those other tools are the foundation, the single biggest, most important headline for 2025 is the incredible rise of AI and the new kind of database that's powering it, vector databases. This technology is completely changing how we search for and interact with data. So what exactly is a vector database? Let's forget all the complicated jargon for a second. At its heart, it's a similarity sorter. It doesn't just look for exact keyword matches like an old search engine, it finds things that are similar in meaning and in context.
So let's pull back the curtain and see how this magic actually works. It's a surprisingly simple three-step process. First, an AI model takes your data, whether it's text, an image, or even audio, and turns it into a long list of numbers called a vector. Second, it does the exact same thing to your search query. And finally, the database just does some math to find the data vectors that are closest to your query vector. That's it. It's a search for meaning, not just words.
And this one powerful idea is what's fueling the entire AI revolution. It's the engine behind semantic search, where you can search by concept. It's how recommendation engines seem to know exactly what you want next. And maybe most importantly, it's the technology behind RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation, which is what gives chatbots like ChatGPT a long-term memory. The leaders in the space are dedicated tools like Pinecone and Milvus, but also powerful extensions like pgvector, which brings this exact capability right into PostgreSQL.
Okay, so how do we turn all this knowledge into an actual plan? What does a winning database strategy really look like for 2025? Let's put all the pieces together.
The biggest trend right now isn't about replacing old tools, it's about integrating them. It's a hybrid approach. The smartest teams aren't choosing between relational reliability and AI power, they're combining them. A perfect example of this is using PostgreSQL for your core structured data, but then you just enable the pgvector extension. And just like that, your mission-critical database also becomes an incredible engine for AI-driven search. You get stability and cutting-edge features all in one place.
So let's nail down our strategy for 2025. Start with PostgreSQL as your reliable, structured core. Embrace a document database like MongoDB for flexibility where your data needs to evolve. For anything that needs to be lightning fast, you use a key value store like Redis for caching. And finally, you integrate vector capabilities for any and all AI features. The golden rule that ties it all together? Choose the right tool for the job. The era of trying to force one database to do everything is well and truly over.
And that leaves us with one last really important question. It's no longer about picking a single favorite database. It's about how you assemble these specialized tools to build for the future. So take a good look at your current stack and ask yourself, is your data strategy truly ready for the AI era?